Cool. When we go up, we'll have to turn the surround sound off. Otherwise, it'll hear this music and we can take it down. Ah, okay. Maybe we just wait till the music stops. Two of the most storied clubs in Australia, APIA versus St George FC, have been fighting tooth and nail since before colour television. I'll explain in downtimes of the game over the next 90 minutes how the maths exactly lines up, but here it is in black and white as we head into this kickoff at 6:35. APIA with a win could secure the minor premiership by next week, with Marconi currently down 2-1 in their match. If the Saints don't win today, they will finish in either of the bottom two spots, and it will be a 3-round race after this to see who gets the chance to fight in a two-legged playoff against the second-best finishers of the league below, and who may go straight down. My name is Mark Zapoli. Thanks very much for being here tonight. And underway indeed we are. APIA, the Granata Azzurri, in their away strip, making a whole host of changes. Hat-trick hero last week, Michael Conestabbo, chief among those changes. 3 against Sydney Olympic. Out of the squad with Sydney United on Wednesday night in mind. The Australia Cup round of 16 continues on with two of the biggest in NPL New South Wales meeting at the home of APIA, Lambert Park out in Leichhardt. Turn by Franco Farinella. And Saya Kambayashi dropping it in. Let's see if St George will be the first to put their foot on the ball of any significance. Indeed they are. And Husoi only making his third start for the club since joining after departing Sutherland Sharks, with a neat bit of trickery in the opening couple of seconds of the game and sending it long before eventually the handball is called by the referee, and St George, the home side here at Barton Park, will have a chance to whip an early one in perhaps. After the mid-season transfer window closed, they certainly shifted and do have much more tall timber on average among their ranks. And those tall timber head into the box. As mentioned, Marconi could wrap up the premiership next week with a win and have it entirely in their own hands. If Marconi are able to launch a comeback in the next 25 minutes of their match happening on the other side of Sydney, then they will be able to at least keep it alive with 3 rounds to go. But as of now, with 4 to go, APIA could have it in their hands. They need to win here tonight, though, and some defending to do. St George trying to save their bacon in round 27 and headed away before lumped back in. Touch out of the sky by Poon. And then he's exemplified a miscommunication there as he tried to find midfield buddy McStay. And out it goes for a throw. APIA will have to take it in their defensive third, meaning that St George could perhaps apply some pressure on them. You might remember it was Michael Conestabbo who got what was the winning goal, but Kyle Shaw opened proceedings in that match at Lambert Park when these two met much earlier in the season. It's incredible how fast time passes. Out of the sky by Caden Wright, returning to the 11, in fact the squad this week. After some time away, Franz Deli, who you can identify by those fluoro orange boots, he potentially will win the first free kick for APIA in favour of them, and yet he will. The MacArthur Ball A-League men's representative jumps back into midfield here today. First became eligible during the Waratah Cup final. Was reduced to just a bench role, with of course the A-League having been off for a little while at this point before making the switch over to APIA. Many making the comment that Franz Deli, who's of course an under-20s Asian Cup champion with Australia, could very well still be playing A-League considering his qualities. A diminutive midfielder with exceptional technique. It's Kishimoto, who's back into the side today as well after nursing an injury. Was eligible last week but opted to, as by Franco Parisi, his coach, to take another week of rest. This is Kyle Shaw, as mentioned. His solitary goal in APIA colours after he joined from Bohemians. And his other native, actually don't worry about that because he's a chance for Isaac Cunningham, but straight across to defend is Alessandro Piccin, who's just making his second senior start. The teenager who had an early moment against Sydney Olympic where he showed his defensive qualities has had a moment here in game number 2 to prove that that was not a flash in the pan. Good defending by the number 44, who will deputise as a right back. He's got 4 goals in the 20s this year, has the teenager Piccin. Alessandro Pichin also having joined from Sydney Olympic, failing to make a senior debut here, but here for the league leaders in 2026, that he can. Turns 19 this year. Well won there by Kishimoto. Plenty of horns to keep you busy on the right-hand side of your screen. St George with the ascendancy so far in terms of the territory. And Franz Deli wins his second free kick of the opening couple of minutes. Another one who's kept his place here today, despite certainly going to be needed on Wednesday night, is of course Presley Ortiz. APIA's number 9 jersey, chasing the golden boots with Arwan Lawal on 20 heading into this round. Presley in the number 9 jersey with 17 to his name. This is Pichin, young man, up from right back. And the body that he met was Rocco Smith. Back in his day, Rocco was an APIA youth representative before going on to play in the German 4th tier, before returning back to Australia. Defending there as APIA mount their first forays forward of the evening. Alessandro Pichin takes. And that ball will just about hold up for him, and it's a big coming together there. Off whose boot last is the pivotal question. And the assistant referee says it's going to be a goal kick for the home side. So it'll be James Susoi, who you might remember in there, but in a couple of seconds of the game was able to show a bit of trickery to keep possession of the ball past a rapidly pressing striker. Better of the two starters, you'd have to say, is the home side. And it's funny that heading into this round, this was going to be a first v second last match, but now, as of kickoff, with live results considered, this is first v last. This is top of the pile versus the cellar dwellers, and so much on the line for both, particularly those towards the bottom. Skataric picks that up and drops it into Isaac Cunningham, and the two men who have joined the Saints to try and form something of a revival up top. We're hoping to combine well here tonight. This is Oliver Kalatz, eligible for the Australian, the Italian and Croatian national teams, believe it or not, because his father, of course, while playing for AC Milan, meant that he was birthed in the country, but also via citizenship of parents and grandparents for Croatia as well. Oh, this question's being asked if that was a pass back. And this could be a huge decision. Well, it is a huge decision that's gone the way of the home side. The referee has said play on. This will be flicked towards McStay in the end. Kishimoto will leave it all the way for Kalatz, who comes out and claims with no issues at all. Pulling to this near side is Jordan Sagreto. Jack Stewart returns to the squad, the number 7. Will deputise off the bench after being away as well for a little while. Zambia have had to roll, twist and squeeze their front line in different ways in the last couple of weeks, especially since the ever-exceptional Oscar Gonzalez was lost. Proudly lost, it should be said, though, considering the way the club congratulated him on the move to Newcastle Jets in the A-League men's set up, the premiers, of course. This is Kyle Shaw finding Fabian Monge. Some plenty of A-League experience between those two names there. Farinella. Sagreto sends it in field. Lovely turn by Seiya Kambayashi, looking for his first goal of the season. Not going to be on this occasion for the brilliant Japanese wide man, who is so versatile and been preferred for his facilitative qualities this season, rather than his lethal cutting edge on the end of the final ball. In the end, either way, the ball has gone a long way over, and goal kick it'll be as APIA start to strut their stuff a little bit here at Barton Park. Soy gets plenty of distance behind those goal kicks. Skataric is beaten there by Shaw. Farinella keeping things alive. One back there by Justin Poon. Just shy of the halfway line, then he gives it away. A clump of APIA bodies around him. Kambayashi finds captain Michael Kute in place of Sean Simmons, of course. Good ball delivered in, and it's cleared away by Rocco Smith. And that'll be allowed to trudge out for a throw-in. APIA really starting to turn the heat on in the top end. This is Presley Ortiz, who is eligible, of course, to play for the Chilean national team and made his international debut against them at youth level, which is funny. That being for the Socceroos, of course. Lovely triangles being formed on the end of the final pass was Franz Deli. Pitchin, who made a mistake not 2 minutes ago. That was a really good touch out of the sky as Segreto bounces back to the right back. Monge, lovely touch to find Farinella. This is nice from APIA. Not getting too far forward, but easy on the eye indeed it is, as they drop back behind their own halfway line and the centre-backs bounce between each other, and from right to left we've gone in a flash. Kuta, the futsal, Wu drops it into Kambayashi in the middle. On the far side, we stay for now. Critical that St George stay in the game for as long as they possibly can. Their last home win came up against Manly, a 1-0 win, which was a winner from Harrison Farrell in the 90+3. This is lovely here from Isaac Cunningham. This is why they wanted him from Rydalmere, one of the top scorers of the League One men's before his mid-season switch. Skataric, who was at this club last year before he left for a 6-month period. Lovely there by Jaden Sita. Skataric picks it up again. Still Nikola Skataric with Kyle Shaw doing his best to hold him up. Jaden Sito to deliver one in, perhaps. Last year's Player of the Year to Isaac Cunningham. And it just came to him before he got his head over the ball. And it took a little touch off his left shin, and that's where the move died. This is Sito again. Better by St George. Skataric drops in and then plays it back to the throw-in taker. Competing with a slight incline there on this near-side touchline, and as a result it made it harder for Sito to control. And out it goes for an APIA throw. Pitchin. Farinella flicks it on. And then lumped forward by Mark Rodic. Farinella with a square pass out wide to his stand-in captain, who crosses the halfway line in Michael Kuta. 1 goal this season to his name, but a really good ball in behind there. Kambayashi, not even he is quick enough to get there before it went dead, and the goal kick it will be. So heading into this match, an 11-point gap separated 3 teams and St George, which means that the Saints here need to get 3 points in order to have a mathematical chance of toppling one of those teams and escaping this bottom 2, this wretched bottom 2. But with NWS in the lead, it means that they are safe from any of the 2 bottom positions. I'll keep you updated on the results that happen around the grounds. And a reminder that with Sydney Olympic having won their game 3-1, it means that they have also jumped St George, who sits for the first time this season on the bottom of the NPL New South Wales ladder. Caden Wright drops it into need it matters not. Either way, it'll be a throw in again. McStay looked like the target. Skataric was claiming for a handball. APIA with a numerical advantage here as they come forward quickly. Past one in a flash. Perhaps the shot from Monge, who's not a regular goal scorer. Squared out wide to Pitchin in just his second senior cap. He'll turn Deliveroo towards the back stick. Not the greatest ball of all time. Franz Deli looking for a maiden APIA goal. Keeps the move alive, but they lose a little bit of their grasp on the attack. Segreto comes central. Franz Deli there again. One way, then the other. Farinella has dropped into that defensive position there to pick up the ball. McStay picks it up. He's on 9 yellow cards in the league this season. If he gets a 10th today, he'll miss the rest of the season with a 3-match ban. Both moves go dead, and in the end, it's picked up by APIA through Oli Kalats, the goalkeeper. It's found its way all the way out the back. Bounce, and then eventually Franz Deli. We know he can hit a cross-field switch. He had 2 to aim for, right back and right wing. He opted to play it short, and it stays on that far side for the time being. 14 minutes into a game that has moved very, very quickly. This is the cross-field switch we were just talking about. Segreto there. Good touch off of his right knee. He's past Sito in a flash. Farinella is there. Could he play it square back to the man who gave it to him? No, he opts to go backwards. Now he goes inside to Franz Deli. Left look, right shoulder look. Squared, Monge out wide. Kuta now forward. Kambayashi delivering a good ball in. Faranella is there and cleared away by Husoi. Good punch away, very decisive goalkeeping. Skataric, did he leave a foul there on Franz Deli? It won't matter. The referee didn't even play advantage or even hint at blowing for a foul. Cunningham being tested. How are your legs, son? He does keep that one alive. To beat is Kyle Shaw. He doesn't, but he does win a corner. Well, while Nikola Skataric has scored 4 goals this season, 2 for his former club Blacktown City and 2 for St George since returning during the mid-season transfer window, Isaac Cunningham in that 14 jersey has scored 8 goals from 16 starts. That was for Rydalmere, though. He's still looking for his maiden goal in these colours here. And what a time it would be to get it. 17 minutes into this game. St George to deliver a ball through Chris McStay. In towards the back stick. Headed away, but still in the danger area in Franz Deli. Oh, that's exceptionally composed work there. Sito, no foul, despite 2 hands on the back. Faranella stood in the way, not that he knew that he was doing the right thing. And APIA win it back by hook or by crook. This is the second top goal scorer in the comp. He tried to link up with the left back with the captain's armband, but not to be, as Seiya Kambayashi slows things down. And Franz Deli, who has been really good to watch so far tonight, is going to take a chill pill. So Manly have taken a 3-1 lead over Marconi, which means that, as it stands, should APIA win this game, next week they can settle the title race in their own terms, in their own hands. That is big news. Kuta delivers a ball in, looking for Jordan Sagreto, and it'll bounce nicely here for James Husoi. I'll remind you, joined the club after mutually agreeing to terminate his contract with the Sutherland Sharks. Not preferred as the first choice goalkeeper there. Searching for first team football. Him finding a spot after Vedran Janjetovic was given a straight red card just over a month ago. Kalatz with time, the 24-year-old. Kishimoto. That's Faranella. Mr. Dependable, as he's been given in the alibi. Caden Wright, good work by him. Lovely. Even better, in behind. Did he stay onside? No, he didn't. And those with really good peripheral vision would have seen the whistle go up on that far side. I should say the flag go up on that far side. May have noticed, as Husoi claims this ball as it bounces once just inside of his box before he has to claim high, may have noticed that there is no Jaden Casella for St George Saints here today. Not on the team sheet. Away missing. And they'll have to do the rescue mission, the Great Escape, without their current top goal scorer of 5 goals. Skataric, who we know was a big body striker. He can hold the ball up well, but he's given the ball away. And Ortiz is sent in behind. He'll get there first, if not for the sliding challenge of Husoi, who has stayed down. His defence needs to win this ball. The referee wasn't going to blow. Now he'll slow things down. Husoi was incredibly decisive there. Got there first, put himself at harm's way, and now he's in a world of pain. Have a look at this. Ortiz was through, sliding in he came. And I think he's taken a clip on the way through. As it stands right now, Northwest Sydney Spirit are going to be safe from the bottom two. Wollongong having yet played round 27. Still a mathematical possibility, though it seems very unlikely. Could very well stay up on goal difference if they went to get us a point somehow from their last 4 games. University of New South Wales, who lost to Olympic, of course, today, are mathematically able to still finish in one of the bottom 2 spots. St George also yet to play round 27, that being the round we're playing right now, also eligible. So St George coming into the round on 20, 3 teams coming into the round on 31, 12 points they would need for safety, and then no one of those teams to not get a single other point. It's quite tight. It's hard to explain without having it all right in front of you. Essentially, they are still alive right now on the live ladder, and they would know it too, because there was plenty of time between Sydney Olympics match finishing and this game kicking off. They would know that they walked out onto the pitch as the team in last place. Back in play we are finally. Add 3 minutes or so to your clocks as we edge towards the end of the first half. A silly giveaway there by APIA. Skataric now gets on his bike and crosses the halfway line to the middle channel of the pitch. This is Isaac Cunningham, as I mentioned, wanting to score his first goal for his new club here tonight, I'm sure. Smith, Skataric upended there. Not enough for the ball by Franz Deli on Nikola Skataric. And it will be a set piece from some 35 yards out or so. Left by Captain Patrick O'Shea. The O'Shea surname, through 2 uncles, a father and himself, have amassed nearly 700 caps for the Budapest boys. Chris McStay standing over it, right-footed. It's a good-looking looping ball in, only for no St George players to be there and attack it. Presley Ortiz in a section where I'm sure he doesn't really want to hold the ball all for too long, and eventually cleared away by what looks like Michael Kuta. Second time, Lucky bouncing past the halfway line. It's a foot race, led by Segreto. Cleared away by Husoi, who's looking like he's moving okay after that injury concern. But he's put that ball straight out into touch. APIA get the ball back in play through Franz Deli right on the halfway line. He drops it back into Eijin Kishimoto, the Japanese centre-back who joined from Mounties at the start of the season, making his 8th start of it after returning from injury. Crossing the halfway line now to find Franco Farinella as St George sit in what you'd probably define as a mid-block. Franz Deli, the classic Brighton and Hove Albion technique of having your studs on top of the ball. Oh, lovely looking ball towards Ortiz, and then it needed that touch there at the back from Mark Rodic as Ortiz was lurking. And it'll be a corner. Now it's APIA's turn to bring some big bodies forward. Swing in it will. Basically every single body bar Franz Deli and Fabian Monge in the box. Man for man they go. APIA moving around like salmon at the front stick towards it goes, and it hits the side netting. A poor corner. And they're going to try and play this one quickly. That they do. It crosses the halfway line, and there's one in the air, but to nobody. Justin Poon, all on his own, and he leads the press all on his own. He looks like Andy Robertson versus Manchester City right now, and he almost catches out Kalats. Well, that'll take a couple of seconds to recover from, I'm sure. Basically just run a doggy session on his own. Deli. Kuta. Forward, looking for any of the 2 APIA bodies in the box. Segreto and Ortiz, neither it found. Goal kick it'll be. APIA a couple of inches, a couple of yards here and there from finding the right ball in behind, but yet they have found that perfect ball. Away goes Husoi on 25 minutes, but he's, for the second time in a row, put it straight into touch. touch by Delhi. Monge. Nice flick on. Faradella up high. Rodic coming in with intent to kill, and away the ball went. Very evenly matched so far. If you had the faintest idea of where these two teams were sitting on the table heading into this match, you'd say they were probably close in the standings. Such as the story of St George's. The majority of their season, really. Performance is good. Just quite missing that something. Cleared away by St George. Skataric is there. The flick on could have gone towards McStay, who was the furthest player forward. And the referee has called a halt to the play here. Having a chat to Mark Rodic. A hug and a kiss, and all is good, apparently. So free kick right on the halfway line, which Caden Wright, their second top goal scorer, and today, considering that Casella is not here, the most active goal scorer on the pitch. A fleet-footed wing-back with a knack for a sweet strike. Skataric. McStay is the square option. Soros on the far side if they want to switch. Rocco Smith. McStay splitting the centre-backs, putting a triangle with Paddy O'Shea. Rodic living a little dangerous lead time here for St George to slow things down. Here's the captain, Caden Wright. Every player inside this half of the pitch right now. St George try and put some numbers forward, knowing that they need to win games, not draw them from this point forward. May as well go for it. A nice string of possession here for the home side, but they're yet to really advance out of their own semicircle. Forward, they plonk it, and easily claimed by Kalatz it is. APIA happy to let them have the ball if they're not going to progress it past, the middle third markings of the pitch, if you like. Kyle Shaw finds Franz Deli. Now it's his turn to split the centre-backs as on-rushers run forward. That being Michael Kuto on the far side, and what a ball towards him it is. Being closed down by Soros. Cuts it back inside. Can the shot come off now? They're claiming that the touch was off an APIA boot, and therefore the referee blows that way. Goal kick it will be. What a ball it was by Delhi. What a good run it was by Kuta. Attacking intent always from the Futsalru. Approaching the 1/3 mark of a game, which has gone by very, very quickly here. It's getting increasingly colder by the second too. Everybody at this side of the pitch, the Frank Ardock stand, rugged up to the tee. Delhi looking to cement a first-grade starting spot, you'd imagine. Can't believe he was playing League One men's football for MacArthur as the off-season of the A-League began. That's frightening to think what he could have done at that level of competition. This has gone towards Presley Ortiz. It's survived by Soros. St George will come away with it. Jaden Sito. Rocco Smith. Soy. So there we go. Manly versus Marconi has finished 3-1. And I shan't remind you of what that means for next week, as you've already heard it a million times already. That's 4 straight losses for Marconi as well, since the rumour mill started swirling about where that coaching duo may go, Saka and Flea, and now we know that they are departing. Where may they go? Kyle Shaw, former Spirit man, graduated from their academy. Ishimoto. This game crying out for a significant chance on goal. Yet to have one. After 30 minutes trickling on by. Another name you might be wondering who is not on the team sheet here tonight is Temba Muatamalo. Sean Simmons, Michael Conestobo, Temba Muatamalo, all rested, and likely you'd have to say, with Wednesday night in mind. A reminder that is Sydney United in the Australia Cup round of 16. Monge running square, keeping that ball alive and keeping it away from Nikola Skataric. Delhi. Oh, looking for Ortiz in behind. Caden Wright. That's a lovely touch. They have a numerical advantage here, St George, but they must play it quickly. Cunningham, what a time for his first goal it would be. One way than the other, and he loses the ball. As APIA bodies came in and the shot took a touch off of an APIA man, and wide it went because of that touch. And they've stayed alive and stayed with this game level. But a crisp counter-attack by the home side. More of that needed, and more of it pronto. The shot came in. A pot shot curler from McStay, I believe, on his left boot. Just wide it went. Kalatz was beaten. So the in-swinger will come in. St George putting slightly less bodies than what APIA did on the other end about 5 minutes ago. They want a bit of stability at the back. Cunningham right on the goalkeeper. In that ball comes now. Kalatz punches it away to the edge of the box. Segreto, half a chance here. Oh, and a silly giveaway by Jordan Segreto when he's returned to the starting 11. And out it goes. Well, it will be an APIA throw. Captain Kuda will take. Kambayashi. Monge. Farinella. Sayer with a quick touch between his feet. They've lost their territory, but they'll restart now. Back down the same far side channel they go. Kishimoto to find Franz Deli, who can turn quickly as McStay tries to block off the passing lanes, which he's done so successfully, and forces Franz to go back to Kyle Shaw. Alessandro Piccin making the run in behind. Farinella, who was playing as the left winger not 5 seconds ago, feels like, came to this near side, lost the ball. Skataric has hit the deck in back play. Franz Deli has picked it up. Running in behind is the man who wants to try and reclaim some territory in the Golden Boot race, but he's a long way from goal right now, and he's trying to compete here with Rocco Smith, the APIA youth man. Defends very well. Skataric against Carl Shaw, who rides that line every single time he defends, but he's done so brilliantly there. Monge now running square. Paddy O'Shea at the base of a midfield, trying to screen him wide. Lovely work. Kuta is forward and cleared by Rocco Smith. Jaden Sito. Cunningham running in behind. This will be left all the way through to Oli Kalatz. Looking for clean sheet number 6 here today of the season in the league. "34 minutes played, 0-0 it is between these two. Two teams that have been battling for the best part of 70 years. St George City will celebrate their 70-year anniversary next year. And they'll be hoping they're doing so as a top division team, that's for sure. It's Miss Segreto. Sito got there first. Living a little dangerously. Sito pumping it away. If this is kept in, APIA have a real chance of getting a good ball into the box. It is kept in. Segreto twisting and turning, now cutting back to find Franz Deli, who's inside the box. He squares it off to the top goal scorer for the club, who couldn't turn and find an accurate shot on target. He's blazed it high and wide. So, no goals, by the way, for Arwan Lawal today, with the Wanderers youth side having gone down 3-0 to SD Raiders, meaning that a hat-trick for APIA's number 9 would render him equal heading into the last 3 rounds of the season in the Golden Boot race. It's a big ask, but APIA have had 2 hat-trick getters in consecutive weeks. Chance for McStay. Kyle Shaw coming across from the right side of the centre-back partnership to do the defending here on the Scotsman, who's twisting and turning himself this time. This is better. Poon delivers a good ball into Moskatovich is there, as was Isaac Cunningham, and it's cleared away. Well defended there by APIA. They can't keep the ball in, but they'll be able to take the throw in nice and quickly. That they do. Sito now, Rocco Smith. Mark Rodic. All four centre-backs, I should say all four defenders touching the ball in that sequence there. Franz Deli, a chance for APIA to play it quickly, but Ortiz's run wasn't found by the number 6 of the Granata Azzurri. This is Sagreto, who's half a chance here. His touch has taken him away from goal. Pitching is deep at the back stick, kept alive by Sagreto, still defended well, and for a goal kick as well. 10 to go in this first half, probably about 3 minutes or so to add it on. The one significant stoppage in play was when we tended to the injury concerns of the St George Saints goalkeeper. That ball has stayed in from Husoi. And Evan Soros, the auxiliary right back for the last 3 match weeks, has dealt with that well. As Kyle Shaw comes away with it, as he so often does, out the back line. Alessandro Pinchin. Pinchin looking for a pass forward. Nice touch by the number 17, Sagreto. Pinchin now again. Franz Deli. Lovely turn there on a sixpence. Hacked down to the ground by the opposite number. Captain Paddy O'Shea. Now he's saying play the ball from where the free kick was won. And that's always a frustrating one when you've just been hacked to the ground. Pitchin being tested on his touch here, but a good one square inside he went, and they've kept retained possession. Monge here, standing where Pitchin should be, and now Alessandro, the teenager, the youngest man on the pitch for APIA, will stand close to St George's last line. Poor pass, and it's snuffed out there by Caden Wright. McStay on the turn. Captain O'Shea sending Poon on a lung-busting run, but it's easy for Kishimoto. This is Eijin Kishimoto again. St Mounties Wanderers last year scored 3 goals in 24 starts there. Japanese TikTok sensation. Quite a handy centre-back on his Tay-2, isn't he? Delhi has had a Marco Verratti-esque performance. Lots of touches, very, very high touch volume. Never ever loses the ball. Hasn't yet in this game. And Franz Deli is actually the one who's urging this team, this APIA side, to play the ball forward and do so quicker. Kyle Shaw runs 10 yards forward, but St George are able to cut off any options to try and feed into the midfield of the Granata Azzurri. Today in their gold and maroon, of course. On that far side, they hold. And the offside flag raised. Good refereeing. And there's a St George player down. It looks like Mark Rodic, who's just testing his ankle stability at the moment, but he's back to his feet in a flash. We're approaching half-time here, not all that remains, and the best chance of the game, of course, has come to the home side not 5 minutes ago. "39 minutes played. Probably about 8 to go if you include added on time. Kishimoto with a good tackle. Ooh, and down he goes under the challenge, and it's going to be a caution. And if that is Chris McStay in the 88 jersey, then that will be his 10th yellow card of the season, meaning that this is his final game of the season unless they go to a playoff. He will be suspended for 3 matches. And that is a huge loss. And if you just take a look in the background of your screens as to how that St George technical area are reacting, I wonder if they're just chatting about that now, because the Scottish 30-year-old is going to be gone for the remainder of the regular season. That's a huge moment in the season of St George. Huge moment. Lovely by APIA. Segreto trying to feed it in behind towards Kambayashi. Segreto keeps it alive. Good touch towards goal, and sliding in was Rodic. Really well done. "40 minutes played, 5 to go in regular time. The drums are a-banging, and APIA are banging on the door to open up this game with a goal, perhaps. A throw in on that far side as we just wait for all 22 players on the pitch to get back into position. Now that we are. Delhi has somehow kept it despite the numerous bodies around him. He's actually lost possession technically for the first time there. McStay riding a tight line for the rest of the match. Of course, he's been shown the cheese. Nicely done by Caden Wrights, and up into the night sky it goes from that clearance. Falling short of the halfway line. Skataric ducked under it and kept it alive. McStay with a lovely touch. Caden Wright sending Poon in behind, but not to be, as Kalats has an easy claim. Both sides in that final third just lacking that little bit of quality. Kambayashi running towards his own goal here. The two Japanese link up for the first time of note in the match. It's taken 41.5 minutes to do so. Crossfield switch of play is very much on. Can Franz Delhi find his teammates that he's still getting very newly accustomed to, of course, after making the mid-season switch? Here he is, the former MacArthur A-League representative. Segreto with a good touch to invite contact and then pull some players out of position. Farinella now with a chance to burst down on goal. Ortiz is there, but again, and not for the first time, the little dink ball trying to find the runner in behind of APIA. It's just a little too bottom heavy, and as a result, it's running too long. Warning signs flashing, but for both teams, just those moments in the final third not quite falling their way. Plenty of time for something drastic to happen, though, of course. Still minutes left to go in this first half, too. That one looks like it's going right to the byline. It's gone out. That's the third one, the third goal kick that young James Husoi has put out. The 21-year-old dared into touch. Kambayashi, lovely work, but stepping in really strongly was Caden Wright. Kambayashi stayed down the Kalats will have to go long as Cunningham came in. That's gone right towards Segreto, actually, who flicks it on towards Ortiz, but Rocco Smith had the better path to the ball. Needs to play it quickly, Husoi. That he does. Well won there by Poon, looking for Skataric, not to be. Kishimoto finds his centre-back partner, Shaw, who feeds it out wide. Pitch in. Nicely retained there by the teenager. Kishimoto strides out of defence to find his captain, Michael Kuta, who's running square. Michael Kuta still going on, flicking behind for Ortiz. Did he dink it? Instead, he went for the placement through the legs, and those legs stayed closed. Good save, Husoi, but the offside flag was raised nonetheless. And after that injury concern, which actually came in a bit of contact with Presley Ortiz some 20 minutes ago, he's looking a little ginger out of that challenge there as well. "44 minutes played. Couple left to go in this first half. A goal here would make a drastic change to the plans of the respective coaches of these units. Farinella. Touch was poor. That's a rarity. So St George FA, that is. St George City have kicked off as well. After their good run of form in the last couple of weeks, they've moved away from the bottom two, but they are still in contention of finishing in those bottom two places, and we'll keep an eye on that game as it goes on as well. Rockdale still hunting a top 6 spot, of course. Absolutely imperative that St George get to the traps with either a lead in their hands or the lead not against them. It's been a composed, well-defended performance so far. They're pressing nicely and their new signings are humming. Skataric. Nice work there by Chris McStay. He's having quite the good game. A good-looking ball in, but nobody there to attack it with Kalatz having a claim. That will go down on his record. He's made at least 7 in this match so far. Right, so APIA with that kick from Kalatz have a chance as we do enter now stoppage time of the first stanza. So potentially sniff away the lead. Let's see what they can do as they find their top scorer, Ortiz. Segreto tried to find Farinella. Ooh, that was a Harry Kane-esque body roll as the ball was in the air there. That's a little cheeky from Young Pitchin. APIA want the ball. The free kick's not going to be given. And St George, well, actually, to half-time we go. Very little time added on at all. And after a disagreement for whose throw-in it would be, always the most argued over call in a game are the throw-ins. We're going to head to the sheds after some 30 seconds or so added on. So 0-0 between these two teams. Only one yellow card for Chris McStay to talk about, which will end his regular season unless they go to the playoff, of course. But APIA have the chance, of course, to go into next week with the chance to win the minor premiership. They're going to have to find 3 points in this one if they are to get to next week with that in their hands. We'll see you in about 12 minutes or so.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket for RaffleTix. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
Thank you. And then doing that, it helps you choose your recall.
Yep, absolutely.
Because you've done it once already.
Exactly right. Precisely. I grabbed the top goal scorers as well. So this is anybody above 1, and then anybody with 1 goal to their name. A defender, for example, they come in here. But yeah, helps to keep track of who's where and a couple of other stats that I've got here.
Good touch by Cameron to bring that down, and now thinks about the early cross. It might fall for Alan Lawal, and you simply cannot give him those sort of opportunities. Here is Thomas Quilligan. Connor Quilligan with a strike! And how great a strike it is! Franson looking for Lawal, does find him. And now Rocco McNamara is there, flashing it across goal. And Hasarati taps it in. A well-worked goal by the Wanderers as they make...
Side to strike. Diego Bonilla squares it back. Choi with a bending shot, and the goal arrives for the Sutherland Sharks. Bonilla on the right side. Diego Bonilla cuts onto his left, veers out to open some room, and the ball falls in the box. Here's McGowan! Ty McGowan makes it 2. Into the last 10 minutes of play. Scott turns, holds off an opponent, and he's legged as the ball finds Kanazumi. Excellent finish.
With the left foot. It's Casella with the shot. And Casella with the goal! They lead at home for the first time. Well, and a second time McStay, but now Fernandez. Head tennis in there. Marcic flicks it. Is there a chance? Is there a goal? No flag. There is the equaliser. The free kick was floated in. It ricocheted around inside the box and eventually fell. Takes a touch and he slips. There's been a ship from Evan Souris. Chance for City Raiders. A great save. Not cleared away. It's come back inside. Marcic with the goal. Marcic with the goal. Goalkeeper. He's picked it up and bowled it out. And now Skataric. Skataric shaping for the shot. Oh, it is a goal. It went through the net. It's 2-2. Everett calling for back inside. Q Shore chooses to float it in. Marcic is there. Still haven't cleared it. Dinked up to the back post. And it's headed and it's in. They've got themselves a third goal. It's Jakob Malbasa.
Back in from Coco. And it's in the back of the net. Farah Coco with a spectacular effort. Haven't had much chances so far in the second half. Tiller, good ball in. Falls to Nakano. That is one of the best goals you will see this season.
Major continues his run and Tanaka has a go. Kodai Tanaka with a real collector's item. He's going to find Fowler here. Tilt is going to ground but hasn't taken it away from Fowler. And it's Fowler bearing down on Rogers. And Sydney immediately responds right before the break against Cooper Rogers. Glasson, confident penalty. Down the middle he went. And Sydney FC take the lead for the first time this afternoon, and it's an important lead at that. An important moment this in the context of the season, in the context of the finals race. Major, from the spot, tucks it away with ease. Sends Zavadinos the wrong way and lets him know about it on his way past. Yej making it difficult, and Blacktown have won a quick throw. Major up to Qual, and Qual is searching for Malia, and Malia! Blacktown go bang bang, and it's on the feet of their two veterans, Travis Major and now Mitch Malia. Turn and continuous reliance on his more experienced players, and Yej is going to have a go! Oh! Incredible from Maxim Yej from past halfway.
Channel ball. Oh no, oof. He's turned it over very cheaply indeed. That's not who you want to give the ball away to. It's Moody Najjar who will strike and finish into that bottom corner with a plum. It's ahead at the interval. Swept in, near post delivery. K-Flaps! They have restored parity!
Bernie. The pressure pays for St George. Solomon John Monahan Viker. Bad leg. Oh, what a finish that is! The Frenchman is catching fire in NPL New South Wales. And St George.
Not a regular goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination. Casper's keeping the attack alive. Conestavo! Stunner! Sequences like that are going to help out APIA, and Ortiz is bearing down on goal. He's found Conestavo for 2. A brace of brilliance for APIA's number 8. Able to play the ball forward. Monarchis forcing the pass, but Kukuchka's stolen in behind Sean Simmons and has a goal back. There's the one they were looking for. It's come from there. There they are. Dilly applying the press. Oh, Conestavo! What more?
So a change for the hosts. Captain Pat O'Shea comes off, citing an injury, which was sustained towards the back end of that first stanza. Rafael Costa comes on in his place, an attacking-minded substitution. That being for the host. Looks like as well there's been a little change in the midfield for APIA. It is in fact Eddie Caspers who has come on. There he is on the ball now, the former Bulls man, who's going to be in this midfield, or at least should have been in the midfield. He is indeed in the midfield alongside his former Bulls teammate in Franz Deli. APIA looking to start hot. So Greto taking a shot. It takes a little touch off of a defender. And easy pickings in the end for Husoi. Caspers looks like the only change for APIA. Rafael Costa looks like the only change for the hosts. Header well won there over Skataric by Ijin Kishimoto. This is Evan Soros, who will play underneath your noses in this second half. The auxiliary right back. McStay. Cleared by Oli Kalatz. Evangelo Soros lining up a long one. Long one indeed it is. Cleared away there by Franz Deli. Back here towards Soros, who feeds one in behind to find Rafael Costa, who wins a corner. The first of this second half for the home side, who had the better of the chances in the first. They had less of them, but the better of them, most certainly. Bit of deliberation here. Referee holding things up. McStay will swing one outwards. Both sides absolutely desperate for a win here this evening. Can McStay's delivery change that? The header is one, and it's flicked towards goal, and the follow-up came in. Skataric goes down. And the free kick has been given against St. George. The referee's called on the respective medical departments of both sides. And Skataric, who is back to his feet, having conceded that foul, will leave a man in his wake, and it does look like Franz Deli, in fact. Rory Jordan's also made his way onto the pitch in the number 11 jersey, so that's two substitutions. Looks like Saya Kambiashi is going to be rested ahead of Wednesday night. An understandable change. Rory Jordan, a two-time goal scorer this season in that iconic number 11 jersey. Concern still here for Delhi. Skataric is actually down in the background, it seems, having just taken up some time to receive some treatment, because why not? So the final three matches beyond this point for both teams reads rather interestingly. So of course, APIA beat the Saints 2-1 the last time that they played. They've also got SD Raiders, who they've beaten. Sydney United, who they've beaten in the league but lost to in the Waratah Cup final, and are to play later in midweek, of course, as well. And then St. George City, who they also lost to. So of their three remaining matches after this, in the first half of the draw, they beat, and lost to their opponents. St. George, on the other hand, APIA, of course, they lost to 2-1. Wanderers, they lost to 4-0. Blacktown City, they lost to 2-1. And Sydney United, they lost to 3-1. So in order to try and save their skin, survive another day, they're going to have to beat teams that they have lost to in all of the previous matches this season in their first encounter. So it's going to be a drop ball, or is it going to... No, it's not. It's going to be a free kick in the end. That was the call made by the referee. Skataric is still off, by the way. There was a very lengthy stoppage in the first half of some 3 to 4 minutes for the St. George goalkeeper that wasn't really added on in the referee's added time records. I wonder if this will be. Kishimoto as APIA hold the ball and try and assert themselves at the start of the second half. We're 5 minutes in, but only about a minute has been played. Poor pass towards Kuta. You could see the frustration beaming out of his eyes there as that pass was well short of him. Saurus throws it long with a bit of backspin. Skataric is okay. Kishimoto wins it again out of the sky. Eddie Kaspers bouncing there with Segreto. He turns well, does Kaspers. Finds Farinella. Lovely incisive pass to Rory Jordan crossfield. Into the box. Farinella was there. Good chance creation by some of the substitutes of APIA linking up there. Cunningham drops it in for St George. And they slow things down. Sent long by Sito. Easily won there by Kyle Shaw, who was unfazed as the header fell right to his forehead. But dead that ball went. Skataric is clutching the back of his head. So the NWS Spirit game is final. They are officially not eligible to go down this season. Turn there by Eddie Kaspers is the deepest of the midfield three so far, as Franz Deli's moved into more of an 8 role rather than a 6, as Kishimoto makes 10 yards, now 15 out of his own defensive line. Kuta this time receives a good ball as he cuts square and then cuts back. 3, 4, 5 touches, finding Rory Jordan here in the number 11 jersey. Kaspers, that ball bowls before it finds Kyle Shaw. 196 centimetres tall, Kyle Shaw. That's why he's won every header without much of a fuss. Kaspers trying to feed it through the entire St George midfield line with one clipped pass, but not to be on this occasion as it's cleared by Husoi. Well defended there by Pitchin on that farther side. And all the way back to Ali Kalatz it goes. He's just outside of his box as he crosses from one centre-back he receives from to the other. Who he gives to is Kishimoto again, making some good yardage here. Right on the halfway line, Hiji Kishimoto. Could turn to their own Japanese midfielder, could St George in this second half. Of course, Toshiki Makimoto could come on. Deli gets it out of his feet wonderfully well and spreads that one wide to Ale Pitchin. Back heel hasn't found the young teenage right back. Skataric drops it in towards Caden Wright in that 16 jersey. This is Mark Rodic, who's actually taken the mantle of being the captain for this second half, so standing captains for both teams here. Troy Danaskos as well for the home side. Pat O'Shea, the captain, who had the armband for the opening moments of the game. Opening half of the game, of course. This game, as we approach 55 minutes now, it's still waiting for that significant chance on goal. It's not been for lack of entertainment, but it's just been a little standoffish, perhaps. Lovely work by Rory Jordan. He's here to win the game, and he's here to potentially win the title right now as he goes for the shot. It's the best chance of the game for APIA, and it's come from their substitute with a bit between his teeth. He's put it just over the bar, and he's claiming a touch from the goalkeeper. In the end, it's going to go down as a shot off target. That's better from the current league leaders. Deadlocked as we approach the hour mark. Well won there by Kyle Shaw. Eddie Kaspers out of the sky. Finally brought down to ground as McStay came in on pitching. 11 years between those two. Lovely turn there by Caden Wright. Keeps it alive here for St George. Their last home win, which was against Manly in the first half of the draw, of course. Round 6, you may remember, was when they were facing and running towards this right-hand side goal. the goal, 90 plus 3 by Harris and Farrell. Perhaps it's a sign of things to come. Kuta gives it away with a misguided pass. Saw a square. Caden Wright is testing the touch here of Rodic, who might have been better to leave that for his goalkeeper. Kishimoto out of the sky. Eddie Casper slows things down to Carl Shaw. Farinella is free if he can be brave enough to find him at the top of the midfield. He's not going to. He drops it into his centre-back partner. Kuta now. Rory Jordan. Back to Kishimoto. Being closed down lightly by Skataric before finding his centre-half partner. Making a lung-busting run is Alessandro Piccin. Given away by Segreto, who's standing in place of the right-back. And now Carl Shaw with that lovely bit of trickery to just evade two St George Saints right there. Oh, in strong, a clash of boots on the ball there. What a sound it is. And the APIA come away with it. They've held the majority of possession, made the majority of passes in this second half so far, as we enter the 12th minute of it. Franco Farinella. Skataric is the target. Kishimoto defends it well. Carl Shaw all the way back to his goalkeeper, Oli Kalatz. He's on the cusp of that 6th clean sheet of this league campaign. Poon closing down Kuta. Kalatz with a loose touch. Took his eye off the ball at the crucial moment, but thankfully no red, white and green around him. Eugene Kishimoto. Kaspers, lovely technique. Good touch there on the far side, Piccin, who's done really well to keep that. A bit of beginner's luck, perhaps. Kaspers now, 1 goal to his name this season. I thought he might have been teeing one up there from distance. Ball delivered in, the header has gone towards Presley Ortiz, and it always was going wide. Playing this season with a right wrist injury is Presley Ortiz. I'm sure that'll be something dealt with after the Australian Championship, where he was a goal scorer in as well. James Husoi goes long. It's missed McStay. Skataric is there. McStay again, looking for Skataric. Better by St George. It's just like their opponents today, that final ball not quite. Bumped forward by Eugene Kishimoto. Rodic with a really good touch out of the sky. I'm not sure if he meant to beat Presley Ortiz in the manner that he did, but it was lovely to watch. Cunningham drops it in for Caden Wright, who finds Jaden Sito, and mastery of the ball in possession by St George, but not leading to much. APIA restricting them despite this rotated, and once we've also started the game too, since then rotated again side. In saying that, in all fairness to the home side as well, they are nursing plenty of injuries. You might have forgotten, as it's been some 25 odd rounds since, but no Terry Antonis among these ranks no more. He's here tonight. But what a player that would have been to have among their ranks. Chance here. Kuda, as he bangs one from distance, and just like Presley Ortiz's header goes wide. And the ball boy has an easy touch. So subs, it'll be. Off goes Eugene Kishimoto, who's returning from an injury, of course. That looks to be Cameron Fong coming on, and Jack Stewart will also return to the pitch. In place of the number 9, Presley Ortiz. So he will not close the gap to 20 goals in the Golden Boot race. He will be preferred to have those extra minutes saved in the legs to a Wednesday night's clash against Sydney United. Rocco Smith has to be careful here with his header. He is. So that's already 4 changes by the hour mark on the dot for the away side. The Granata Azzurri have made 4 of their 5 available changes. There's 1 window and 1 change left for them. This is Cameron Fong, who lumps it into a dangerous area for the home side here. Half a chance here for Rafael Costa. And Casper's kept his cool until he gave it away, actually. And Saurus now was critical in that last home win with the assist, of course, to Harrison Farrow that day. 1 win since that point, 4-1 on the road against UNSW. Lovely ball by Poon. Rafael Costa, good ball in, cleared away Kyle Shaw. McStay there. Delhi dancing with it within box. And Faranella kept it alive. Rory Jordan sliding dramatically to keep it alive. St George win it back, all the way back to the halfway line into the centre of the pitch. It finds Rocco Smith. Sito. Cunningham now is looking more like a midfielder in this second half. Rodic with a quick touch out of his feet. And a nice pass to find Poon, but the round 27 pitch struggling, making it difficult for Poon, who has a strike. And offside with Saurus, and you can't believe it. APIA are going to dice the ball around in the defensive third of their pitch. Right into the midriff there of Jordan Segreto. And then Saurus will take the throw. Skataric receives, bounces it back to the number 8 of St George. And a good pass back to his goalkeeper. It was a little dangerous. He's got the technique to execute. Melbourne Victory trialist, of course. Evan Saurus. Caden Wright. Jack Stewart still waiting for his first touch on the ball. Is this the moment perhaps for St George? Can they deliver the right ball in? In it comes. Down has gone one at the back stick. And no point to the spot from the referee. Justin Poon, the one who went down. He's searching for his first goal of this campaign. He's back to his feet already. Segreto. Nicely defended there by Marko Rodic. He's been a man possessed here this evening. Trans Delhi finding Captain Kuta, who squares it to find Kyle Shaw, whose new centre-back partner is the captain, Michael Kuta, with Cameron Fong having come on in place of Ijin Kishimoto. Lovely feet there by Caden Wright. Exceptional work there. This is good. And can St George foray forward from here? He was looking for the foul, and the contact there quite clearly was Cunningham. Even I could see that from this far back. And away goes the ball for St George. Rafael Costa in hard on Segreto. That's been a really good tussle so far. Look at this. Rocco Smith as he crosses the halfway line here. Needs to get rid of the ball quickly. Eventually does so. They've lost their momentum going forward. Things have slowed right down on 64 minutes. Still deadlocked we are. This result very much favours the away side. Paranella had his shirt pulled with 2 hands there, not to be given by the referee, and they concede possession. Rocco Smith finds the stand-in captain, Mark Rodic. Saurus with a swivel of the hips, and he leaves it here for Poon. And given away, France Delhi now. Segreto in strong was Rocco Smith. Onya Rocco from, I'm sure, some happy friends and family. 65 played up here on the halfway line. Really good work here from the teacher, Jack Stewart. Casper's clipping it, looking for Rory Jordan. Segreto was there, and somehow Hussoy has come away with it. 2 bites of the cherry to no avail. And now Saurus cuts back the 23-year-old. Finds Caden Wright, giving it back to the number 8. Kusoi just made that save with the ball at his feet. Long ball. Cunningham now being closed down by Kuta, who I remind you has come as the centre-back for the remainder of this game. Poon, Saurus, the 7 linking with the 8, giving it back to Poon, the 7. Can he deliver the right ball? And it looks overcooked. It is overcooked. The tale of the game so far. Delhi dropping it back into Kyle Shaw, his first loose pass of the game, and Shaw's forced into a rushed clearance which goes dead on 67 minutes played. Skataric threatening Kuta, quicker to it though. Kuta, now he's the one dicing with danger, but the futsal Roo is so adept in those tight situations, isn't he? Franz Delhi, another one of that echelon. This is Cameron Fong. The Trivella pass. It's going to stay in, which forces Saurus to make a decision here, and he sends it out. That was like a good 5/8 kick. Good halfback's kick. Forcing them to send it dead. And territory they'll get. Can APIA open this game up? They've come close in this second half on 2 occasions. Not to be from that throw-in though. Skataric, lovely work there by the former Blacktown City man. And that's even better to find Caden Wright. And he sends it in behind. Cunningham is offside. Won't matter. Ball was rash and rushed. Overcooked. It's the name of the game. This game in particular. Caspers using his left to clip it wide towards Jack Stewart. A little high for him, so he can't control it off the chest. He's forced to head it in field. Sagreto, who's the central striker now. Stewart, the right winger. Jordan off the left. Faronello as the 10. Ball delivered in. That one's overcooked as well. It forces Rory Jordan to get on his bike. Now, this is really concerning. If it's not the most erratic position of any of the NPL teams this season, it's got to be St George's goalkeeper. They have been through plentiful shot stoppers this season, and if Husoi comes off, it's going to be Sebastian Lalutz to replace him, who did, of course, start their first game of the season and kept a clean sheet as well. One of their 7 clean sheets this season, 6 of which came in the first 6 rounds of this season. Their last one was in round 25, so a fortnight ago, in a 0-0 with Sydney FC. But I can imagine this has come from that very first bit of contact with Presley Ortiz. Now, I'm going to suggest it wasn't actually the contact, but I think it was the hastiness at which he rushed out and eventually made contact. I reckon he might have tweaked a hamstring because he was stretching that right foot just then. You know, that one where you sit down, you lie down, you stretch out to reach your studs and pull them towards you? That one, that's a hamstringer. So if the goalkeeper has been hamstrung by a hamstring injury, well, he's walking about as well as I do when I've gotten up to watch any of the World Cup games at 2 a.m. out of bed, which is with a lot of instability. He's looking all right now. Here he is. He's been forced to kick the ball long. So how's your hamstring? Kick this one into next week. Well, he's okay. Lalutz will not be required, at least for the time being. St George come forward now themselves. Desperate for a win here. A win or nothing else. A win or it's the bottom 2. That's what's riding on this one. Caden Wright, their top goal scorer on the pitch so far today. Saurus delivered in. Didn't beat the first man, Rory Jordan, who stuck his butt in the way. Saurus with the left foot this time. High rather than whipped. Cleared away by Jack Stewart. His defending duties exemplified right there. This Franco Parisi unit has been rather quite good as the champions look to strut their stuff. I've just seen on the bottom of my eyesight, Yuki Kishimoto has actually, of course, he's been off the pitch as a substitute now for the best part of 10 minutes, but he was hobbling back to the sideline, actually to the sheds just then, so hopefully he's okay. Yuki Kishimoto. Been out for a couple of weeks with injury. So only one show of the cheese so far. So that was to Chris McStay, who I'll remind you is now going to be ineligible for the next 3 games of the season thanks to his 10th yellow card of it. 10th, unbelievable. No cheese shown there against APIA. We don't have to defend this ball in. St George, I remind you, a win today or it's bottom 2. That's the simple fact. That's the black and white fact. McStay will actually deliver this ball in, speaking of him. Plenty of numbers in the box. Oh, it's a shocking ball, in fairness. Rory Jordan, full of running, having just come off the pitch. St George players tackling each other haphazardly. Poon looking a little ginger out of that one. Caspers, Franz Deli, Caspers, Shaw. 72 minutes played. Still deadlocked. A result that favours Apia and a result that condemns this St George Budapest unit to the bottom 2. Where yet we do not know. Down they go in the box. Caspers has just evaded him. McStay has to be careful. Watch those flying elbows. He's given it away. Jordan, Franz Deli, furthest forward he's been all game. Fadanella in strong with an option out wide. It's Jack Stewart! And the crowd reaction tells you everything. Oh, so close. Hunting that 8th goal of the season. Would have gone level with hat-trick hero of round 26, Michael Conestabbo. Well won there by Cameron Fong. Evan Soros will try and keep the play hot. Poor throw. Rafael Costa. Caden Wright, Skataric gave it away. Caden Wright. Poon. Left foot, right foot. It's the latter ball in. Oh, Skataric was the target. I think he just missed it by an inch. Big bump in the sky there by McStay. Really has to be careful. Yes, he's ineligible for the next 3, but he doesn't want to get sent off here tonight with still 15 or so to go. Caden Wright. Been one of St George's best. Soros. Fadanella, he's missed it. Rafael Costa now. And the target, Skataric, couldn't quite find him. It was free, though. It'll be Apia's throw. But St George with this string of good chances here. They haven't capitalised yet. 0-0 it remains. Fong. Lovely turn, Caspers. Not quite out of danger, Apia. Strong in was Rocco Smith. Nice work. Poon past his oppressor there in a flash. Back it goes by their key man in their promotion race as a sprightly young teenager with 10 goals in the League One men's campaign of 2023 was Justin Poon, graduate of this academy. Very loved here among those sitting in the Frank Addock stands. This is the captain, Mark Rodic. 75 minutes played, 15 to go with a bit added on, you'd imagine. Cameron Fong should see this back to Kalats. That he does. Apia play quick to Kyle Shaw. Finds his new centre-back buddy and Michael Kuta. Jordan steps on the ball. Fong in a little bit of space here. Sending Segreto on his merry way. Cleared away by St George. McStay. Caspers. Lovely work, Franz Deli. Beautifully done. There's no options that you'd really be aiming for aerially in the box. Now Jack Stewart's in the box, perhaps that changes that narrative. Kuta. This is Rory. Cleared away a bit more comprehensively this time by Rafael Costa. Pretty incredible to think that since round 7, picture this, since round 7, St George have been outscored 48-16. Of course, keeping clean sheets in their first 6 rounds of the season. Since then, outscored 48-16. Only one win in that push. And they find themselves currently last place in the NPL New South Wales men's table. A draw, should it stay that way, still means that APIA will have to fight next week because the maximum gap they can open up would be 9, but that's if, of course, Marconi don't get a result, although 4 losses in a row. It's quite a damning statistic. If both teams win next week, it's still on. Anything less than a victory, though, for Marconi, and it is in the hands of their Italo rivals. This is a chance here, though, for APIA not to beat, because standing in was Jaden Sito, who's been upended and wins a free kick. Does Jaden Sito. 13 minutes left to go in a game that's been goalless. They need something. This home side desperate to stay in the division. They only own promotion 2-3 seasons ago. Ball delivered in. Sito there. Back into the danger area, but too handsy for the referee's liking. Free kick, it'll be APIA's favour. To the bench we go. APIA's final change will be Jordan Sagreto. He's going to go off. And Alex Den-Mead will come on. 2-time goal scorer this season in the men's side. He's also been pretty handy with a goal in the 20s too. So that's all the changes that APIA can make with 12 left to go. This is Caspers. Delhi. Caspers now. Well defended there by Isaac Cunningham. Pitchin slips at the pivotal moment, but not enough St George bodies forward to launch any kind of a quick counter-attack, and as a result, the ball goes dead. So a change coming for the home side. Off goes Justin Poon. On comes another Japanese representative. Toshiki Makimoto will come on in the number 12 jersey. Most recently played for Western Spring New Zealand National League side, where he was a multiple-time goal scorer and a fan favourite there. He's also played, believe it or not, for Erchim FC back in 2023, which is part of the Mongolian professional setup. And back just right after COVID, he played in Helsinki, which is Finland, for PK35, which sounds like the name given to a Star Wars drone, but I assure you it's not. It's a Helsinki-based Finnish top-flight club. So, the other side of St George, that being City FA, are deadlocked at 0-0, which keeps them in contention for the bottom 2. Just. That puts them on 32 points. Although that would mean that St George FC here today don't get all 3 points in their game, and that would actually solidify their place in the league next year, should they keep their results. A reminder, in black and white, if the home side St George do not get All 3 points here today. One of the bottom 2 spots they will claim. One gives you a prayer, and one is rather damning. APIA looking to strut their stuff with 10 to go. Kuta, who will play the full 90 minutes and then do so again, you imagine, on Wednesday night. Fit as a fiddle is Michael Kuta. Cameron Thong doing everything he can to vouch to start and participate in that match on Wednesday night too. Lovely turn by Rory Jordan. He's been upended though with a little clip on his ankle. McStay here now. Giving away Rafael Costa. Kyle Shaw. 9 minutes left to go. One more sub to come for St George, it seems. Faranella. Waited by Cunningham. APIA faithful not happy with that one. Ball into a good area, but no Granata Zuri jerseys there. Though technically the away strip is not those 2 colours. Right, so Nikolas Kataric off. Won't find his 5th goal of the NPL season here today. Looks to me like Harry Keys has come on in the 21 jersey. Indeed he has. Subs made for both. They need a win. They've not taken off defenders for attackers per se, but they are going to have to bump some bodies forward. Unless they prefer the 1 point from this game, which keeps them within 1 point of Olympic, who picked up 3 themselves, respectively, today. So would they rather make it a 1 point game or risk going behind by 2 points? I think they would be wiser to go for a win, personally. Caspers to Kuta. Space ahead of him before cutting back inside, as he so often does. Kuta now, square pass to Franz Deli. Quick feet, quick play, backwards he goes. Caspers, former Bulls captain at youth level. Rory Jordan has dropped in to receive and facilitate forwards. I can see what he's trying to do in finding Fong, but the 2 subs don't link up down this near left-hand side, and that's been the story of this 84 minutes or so in this match. Tussle for the ball, off the ball. Ooh, Rodic has spared his side's bacon there with a cop to the side of his face. That'll sting in the morning. Cutting back inside. Jack Stewart giving it away with that left-footed pass. Eddie Caspers. Jack Stewart again. It's a foot race, and Harry Keys, although he's fresh, didn't get there first. 1 goal in the league this season for Harry Keys. Summer signing from NWS, the league title winners of last year, of course, before APIA became the champions. Lovely work, strong use of the core and body of Caspers and Rory Jordan. Ooh. I'd like to repeat what he said, but I get fired. Let's just say it was a show of frustration. In strong, Kuta, very, very brave header. Here's Toshiki Makimoto. Great to see Kim at that number 12 jersey. I want to see what he can do 6th game he's participated in so far since signing. Caden Wright, he rushed that with Fogg behind him, and as a result, APIA get the throw, which they take quickly. APIA desperate to win it here, which basically puts the league title in their hands. Chance for St George to win it here, perhaps. Ball over the top. McStay is there. McStay still. Franz Deli wins the ball. Enough of the ball as McStay stays down, clutching his face, meaning that we need to stop the play. And here comes the cavalry contesting for this decision to have gone in their favour. And there are some incensed Saints fans around here. Let's have a look at this on replay right now. The ball is sent along. It bounces once. McStay competes. He does win the ball. In the process, Franz Deli gets a lot of Chris McStay. So neither of the assistant referee or the centre referee opted to A, raise their flag, or B, blow their whistle, meaning that there's really nothing that can be done here unless the referee completely backflips on the decision, or perhaps the lack of a decision and instead the option to play on. It's going to be a drop ball at the end of the day, which will go in favour of APIA. Expect some 5 minutes added on at this point. So if it stays like this right now, a 6-point gap remains with 3 games remaining between first and second place, which means that the league title can be won next week should Marconi not win their match. And APIA pick up at least a point, which I'll remind you will be against SD Raiders, which is the team they beat 3-2 when they met earlier in the season. SD Raiders also winning their game today 3-0. Of course, in the best run of form they've been in as a club potentially ever, with still some cup football to come their way too. And I remind you as well, if you're just tuning in from around the joint, this result means that St George will be condemned to a bottom 2 spot. McStay has made his way back to his feet. The ball will be dropped in favour of APIA. Kalatz will claim. Temporarily down to 10 men are St George. To quote a legend, it is squeaky bum time. Things need to happen quickly as McStay re-enters the field of play. APIA with the ball at their feet collectively here. Casper splitting the centre-backs just behind the halfway line as St George sit in. So it seems they're desperate to not concede the points. They're not pushing too many bodies forward. They want to stay within 1 point of Sydney Olympic. It's who they are competing with now, it seems, for the bottom 2 spots. A reminder, second last will play in a playoff against the second best finishers of the division below. Last place goes straight down, no second chances. Casper's now. Franz Deli, was he fouled? No, went down too easily. And they have a 3-on-3 here. A chance perhaps. Blocked off. Some good defending by Eddie Caspers, who started the attack before it was eventually given away and stopped St George from launching their own. Brilliant work by APIA's 22. What a man to bring off the bench. Jack Stewart. Still Jack Stewart, somehow still got the ball. Den Mead was the target, but Rocco Smith has had a decent game here this evening. And we'll see that one out for a throw-in down. Has gone Rafael Costa, I believe. Some tired bodies out there, particularly that of the St George boys. And a lot of them moving a little gingerly out there, which is interesting considering that APIA obviously in more competitions, and more recently so too. We are into the 90th minute, but I can imagine a lot is going to be added on. We're nowhere near done here, so stay tuned in. Isaac Cunningham, the man who's down in that 14 jersey. And is his day done? To the bench, they're going to have to go, potentially begrudgingly. If Cunningham can't move, you may as well replace him. It's either an extreme cramp or it's a hamstring injury that's being tested as to how deep the cut is. I would believe that in minute 90, by the way, we are in stoppage time now officially. Anything at this point is at the discretion of the referee and his whistle. I believe it's a cramp. You can hear people's whistles and alarms going off all around the Frank Ardock stand because we are at the end of 90. Didn't get much added on in the first half. Hopefully get some here. The medical staff racing to get some pickle juice onto the pitch. And from a distance, that does look like Kota Toyuka, who may enter the pitch to see out these last couple of minutes. We've actually already played nearly 2 minutes of the stoppage time. Well, keyword played. We haven't actually played any of the 2 minutes of stoppage time so far, so expect this to go to around 90 plus 10, I would say. The pickle juice has been thrown to the sideline by Jack Stewart. Quite the arm on him there. Sub made. And it is, in fact, Kota Toyuka who comes onto the pitch. Japanese representation is quite hot here today. That's 4 players. So a reminder, if you have just joined us, deep into stoppage time we are. A result that favours APIA have the chance to win the Premiership next week. This result will condemn St George, the home side, to the bottom 2. Unless they find a winner late on here, there will still be time added on. Caden Wright. Rafael Costa. Loose touch there on that far side. Picked up and rescued here by Caden Wright. Trying to get past Farinella. He can't. Upended just outside of where the semicircle markings finish. In terms of laterally, that is. Will win a free kick. And so the big boys go forward. Oh, a goal here would surely be a winner. And it would keep their season and those hopes of escaping the bottom 2 alive. But it has to happen now, if not very soon. Options waiting on the edge of the box for that long shot if it comes out to them, but plenty of bodies in the box. Kalatz has a claim that he will be grateful for sure. Strong running by Alessandro Piccin. He's been fouled on the far side. Or did the ball just go dead? I think the ball just went dead. And it will be St George's throw, that means. 94 minutes played. And still a couple to come. St George doing everything they can to find the winner. Although APIA have the ball now. Rory Jordan. A goalless game. Not been shy of entertainment. Lumped forward. That's a bit more like it. A bit more Route 1 as APIA try and find a winner here. And basically put a hand on the trophy. That being that of the Premiers. Eddie Kaspers. Is it coming now? 2-footed midfielder finds Cameron Fong with a beautifully executed left-footed pass. Kuta delivers one in towards the backstick. Farinella over his head, and Kota Toyuka, who's just come onto the pitch very recently, hadn't quite had his radar switched on there. And he'll get to this ball first, it seems. No, if not for Farinella. This is Jack Stewart, a long way from goal for the strike. This is better now. Jack Stewart onto his right. He drives it low, and it's a save for Husoi. He's going to have 2 clean sheets, it seems, in 3 matches played for his new club. Can APIA win it late? And set up Wednesday night's thriller in the cup on the perfect note with momentum in their favour, if it isn't already. Kaspers, he loses the ball And it's a foot race, but the ball will go dead. But Kuta will try and play it as quickly as he can. Still we go on a look at the watch by the referee. Kuta has Kalats if he wants to go backwards, but everybody else seems marked. So who will he do? He will, in fact, find Fong, who then bounces it back to his captain. Rory, he says, as he pumps it towards Kota Toyuka. McStay. And here is the man who's just come off the bench. What a way it would be to get your first goal for your new club. He drops it into McStay. The chance to win it and stay alive for St. George here. It has to be now. A strike by Keys. Kalats claims easily. Stewart, just shy of the halfway line, but a good shimmy and shake, and off he goes with that burst of pace he's known for. In strong, and then upended in back play. Throw in it will be in favour of APIA. They're trying to win this match late on here. It's all a bit hands on deck stuff as Jack Stewart has a moment of poor quality that you could count on one hand across his career that he's committed something as heinous as that. That was poor from him. Won't do that again for a long time. It's coming to the end of a long season. Caden Wright wins that one out of the sky. Well defended there by Kyle Shaw. Faranella in strong as Caden Wright came in again. McStay. Well won there by Kuta. What a strong game he's had. Harry Keys in strong. He's looked likely to score off the bench. Saurus. Evan Saurus. Can he deliver a peach? Into McStay. McStay still. Lovely pass. Nicely disguised to find Rafael Costa, but no red shirts around him. He's going to have to do this all by himself. Saurus is nowhere near him. He's waiting and waiting for a shirt that eventually comes in. McStay. Ball delivered in. And over it goes. Cunningham in that 14 jersey was the target. Still he fights for it. On he goes. Still Isaac Cunningham. What a time it would be for his first goal. Lovely sliding challenge by Franz Deli. Still we go on. Ball into the box, twisting and turning was Makimoto. And now Apia, and now Demmead. And how quick are you with fresh legs? The keeper eventually comes for the ball. And dead it goes into the Frank Ardock stand. Still we go on. This is now the 98th minute of a game that is going to finish in a pulsating fashion. Fong with a good touch after his own throw-in. Goes for the Trivella again. In strong with his left. Upended he was by Saurus. Can they win it here? McStay was hounded by Franz Deli. McStay. Kimoto threatening Kuta there. Lovely turn. Michael Kuta. Franz Deli. Apia now must play it quickly. Wide it goes towards Jack Stewart. Their most experienced in the front line. Towards Den Mead, and Mark Rodic sends that one away into touch. And still we go on. This is great stuff to watch. 8:30 on the dot it is at Barton Park. Tired bodies, tired legs, even more fatigued minds. Jack Stewart now. Given away. Silly. And it's a foot race. And a chance for Toshiki Makimoto to win the game. Oh, he was held! What colour is the card? It's going to be red! And a shocking ending to the day because he was through, Toshiki Makimoto, and Apia did not want to lose the game. And it's going to be the end of the night for Kyle Shaw. Wow, a huge moment in the season for him. He picks up his first red card for Apia after what was otherwise a very complete and assertive performance. Well, this would surely be the last chance of the game. 10 men Apia now defending against Chris McStay. He's going to have to Roberto Carlos this versus France if he's going to get this one in. He's a long, long way out. A two-man wall. McStay runs up, blasts it, blocked. Apia have the ball back through Faranella. Jack Stewart now. And maybe a chance to win it despite the numerical disadvantage. St. George need to do their own dirty work defending. Have to be careful, Chris McStay himself too. Free kick given after McStay's initial foul, I believe. Now a chance for APIA in a game that has everyone's hearts beating around this place. Ball delivered in, it's a good ball, and there's the header! And straight into the hands of a very grateful goalkeeper. My word. And now, can they win it themselves? The ball comes central over Key's head. Oh, a look at the watch by the referee. Don't call it yet. This has been such great fun. I could stay here all night as the ball goes dead. Still we play on. Oh, what a chance it was as we enter the 11th minute. Back it goes to the keeper, who will be so happy that that ball came straight down into his hands. Oh, Makimoto is there. Oh, they could leave it here for McStay. McStay potentially to keep their season alive. Something needs to happen quickly. Out wide it goes, kept alive Cunningham. Their new signing, searching for that maiden goal. Caden Wright is there, he scored 4 this year, not to be, because Caspers is quick, and Caspers is away, and in comes the sliding challenge of Rafael Costa, and that will be the final moment of the game. First and foremost, that's St. George. They'll be doing a dance from rounds 28, 29, and 30 to keep their season alive. The bottom 2 is confirmed for the Budapest boys. They will finish either second last or last. That is entirely in their hands now. They'll face the Wanderers, Blacktown City, and Sydney United. 3 teams that they lost to when they met them in the first half of the draw. For Kyle Shaw, for APIA, that will not affect his eligibility on Wednesday night. He will be able to play the cup final, and I think that's exactly why he did it. APIA are going to have to wait until next week to confirm things. They still can win the minor premiership next week, of course, but it's going to rely on results going their way that day with Marconi still in the fight. It could have been entirely in APIA's hands had they got all 3 points here tonight. But the story of the day, a red card right at the end. Chances are plenty as we entered the 90 plus 13 before the referee's whistle finally brought it to a close. My name's Mark Topoli. Appreciate you guys being here. St. George confirmed in the bottom 2, but which of those spots will they have come the end of round 30? Stick around and find out. See you later.